What's going on, everyone? Jeff back with another video. At the start of the week, AMD was trading around $54.98. By the end of the week, most of you long-term investors, people that hold options on AMD, saw the stock jump over $69 a share, getting almost up to $70 a share before making some small moves back. And this happened with no real change in the stock. AMD has been a fantastic investment. Let's move back to 5-year chart. You have to remember, AMD was a penny stock only 5 years ago, trading under $1 per share. Now has gotten itself up over $70 per share. Even in 1 year's time, AMD has still made some very, very impressive moves, going from low of $27.99. Like I said, more than a 100% return now, as we're inching close to $70 per share. So is AMD going to run to $100 per share this year? I have covered this stock a lot on the channel. Probably one of the most exciting and disruptive semiconductor companies out there. And really, if you want to know the story of what happened Friday, I'm going to go ahead and give you a short answer. Most people might already know, and it was on the weakness of Intel. I'm going to get into that in this video, what all happened to Intel. Intel actually experienced about a 15% drop on Friday. It's almost like AMD constantly benefits anytime Intel has problems. And just in case any of you all were wondering, there is also another chip maker that benefited pretty well from the dive in Intel stock. That's Taiwan Semiconductors. Let's go ahead and get that one pulled up as well. They're in the purple. So on a week-long chart, AMD was up 25.57%. Taiwan Semiconductors was up 11.5%. And of course, Intel dropped 15% on great earnings. They had a fantastic earnings report, but they did get some delays. We're going to cover that in this video, and we're going to take a further look. Is AMD going to trade up to $100 this year? Before we get started though, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video. I appreciate all the support, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Alright, so to help explain just how AMD took its big gain last Friday, we're going to have to start with the Intel earnings report. When it initially hit, I was a little bit confused because the EPS beat by 12 cents, and they also beat on revenue by 1.15 billion, showing an outstanding earnings report, and I just assumed that guidance went way down. But what actually happened was that the company said the 7nm chip process is delayed, now trending about 12 months behind target. That's pretty big deal right there, 12 months behind. What that's going to do is manufacturers are going to have to scramble to find product, and obviously they're going to turn to AMD. And then it was later updated that they're saying to expect 7nm products in late 2022 to early 2023. And during the earnings call, CEO Bob Swan says Intel identified a defect mode in the process and is invested in contingency plans, including using external third-party foundries. So the multi-year 10nm yield issues allowed AMD to step into the process node lead. And from there, Intel plunged about 8 to 10% in after hours, and AMD started going up roughly 6%. Now, to further this point, just to tie it all together and to try to make some sense of it, AMD recently debuted its new Ryzen 4000 series processors that are built via an advanced 7nm manufacturing process. They have strong graphic capabilities and promise powerful gains in performance and energy efficiency. Now, these are expected to help AMD compete effectively with Intel in the high-end gaming market, as well as the massive mainstream consumer PC market. And obviously, AMD's market share gains may now be easier to come by, being Intel's 6-month to possibly 1-year delay. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty in there. Could be as long as a year, could be longer than a year. It's definitely going to be a long delay though. This will give AMD a valuable head start, one that Intel might find very difficult to recover from. As most of you, if you're an Intel investor, you probably have already heard about that Intel is now struggling. They recently lost a major contract with Apple, which will soon begin to create its own chips for the popular Mac computers. Intel's latest delay with the new 7nm chips is just another black eye for the previously formidable company. And again, like I mentioned at the start of the video, when Intel gets weak, AMD seems to immediately benefit from that, because AMD is taking advantage of its rivals' footsteps. Market share increases have propelled its stock to gains of more than 50% so far in 2020. With more customer wins likely ahead, AMD's share price could continue to trend higher, as we seen on Friday, Friday, came out of the $50 range at the start of the week and almost touched $70. Now, I do want to warn you of something though. Nothing fundamentally has really changed for AMD. I think the stock might be getting a little ahead of itself. So we might see it trade back down to maybe $65, maybe $60 a share over time in the next couple of weeks. Then again, tomorrow morning, it might take off running once again. So the reason I mentioned AMD might trade itself back down is they do have earnings this week on the 28th, so Tuesday of this week, and after the bell, AMD is going to be reporting earnings. So perhaps the amount of earnings they kick out possibly will not match the share price, and you could see this stock sell itself back off. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, and if time allows, I'll make an update video after AMD reports earnings. We can talk a little bit further about this, but you could see a correction from that big jolt up on Friday unless they have extremely strong earnings and extremely strong guidance going into the following quarter. But just keep that in mind. Tuesday after the bell, AMD is going to be reporting earnings. If you do watch this video in time and you're a long-term investor, I would definitely be plugged in and tuned into that. Alright, so this company has made some big changes fundamentally. Now I want to kind of lay out the case for you why I do believe as things recover from COVID-19, everybody gets back to work, manufacturers start doing a lot more business, why I truly believe AMD could run to $100 a share and possibly a lot higher. You have to keep in mind this company has made strides fundamentally over the past couple years. Once upon a time, you were taking a lot of risk to invest into AMD. Now it is a very, very solid company fundamentally. First thing we need to look at is profitability, where they're almost 7% positive on profit margin and almost 11% positive on operating margin. Now, once upon a time, they were negative in all four of these categories. Now you can see that they're all positive. 8.92% return on assets, 20.19% return on equity. That is fantastic. Like I said, it was not many years ago. You could probably go back to the first video I published about AMD here on YouTube, and the numbers were not good at all, okay? You were accepting a lot of risk to get involved with this company. Now they are pretty solid. And now, just for fun, just to express how far AMD has come in a couple years of time, I actually went back to the video I published in December 15th, 2017, where I covered AMD stock analysis. As you can see right here, their profit margin and operating margin were both negative at that time, and they were negative on return of assets and return on equity, okay? So you can compare that to the numbers that they have now. See how this stock has made so many changes fundamentally over the past 3 years. You know, I think AMD has really moved out of the realm of high risk, and now it is a very fundamentally strong company that everybody should have in their portfolio. Now let's move on a little bit. There is still a pretty decent amount of short interest on this stock, roughly about 4%, but that is nothing unordinary for a stock that grows at this pace, and I would not worry too much about that. The quarterly revenue growth is around 40%, which is outstanding, and their quarterly earnings growth year over year, 912.5%, which is outstanding. This down here on their balance sheet, I believe this is where they made some of their biggest moves, having $1.38 billion of total cash and only $699 million of total debt. Another huge improvement. Now this company is not only growing, but it's financially stable, which is very, very important to the future. And lastly, let's talk about their cash flow. Okay, they have an operating cash flow, $641 million, a levered free cash flow of $550 million. So they have cash on the books, and they have levered free cash flow as well. So this company is not going anywhere. They are very, very strong. One of the best, absolute best buys you can get in the semiconductor industry. And I think it is a much, much stronger buy right now than Intel. So let me give you my best advice for AMD. If you're AMD shareholder long, I would just continue to go long here. Probably would not be buying at this $69 to $70 level. But let's go ahead and get through earnings this week, kind of see what the results do. Even if they don't have the best earnings report, keep in mind the COVID-19 crisis might have interfered with what they can do. You know, I was very surprised that Intel did have strong earnings. Don't be upset if all companies don't report strong earnings. We have a very, very big week in front of us. And from here, I think AMD trades up to $100 a share. It might not be this year, and it might not be as soon as you anticipate. But as far as a long-term investment, taking up market share, and of course being the anti-hero when Intel falls, AMD is the kind of stock you have to own long-term. And I think $100 a share will happen very, very soon. Right now it currently has about an $80 billion market cap, and I think this company could very easily be a $150 to a $200 billion company in a couple of years. So go ahead and double that. That's all I got for the video, guys. Make sure to go down to the comments and share your thoughts and opinions with me. Make sure to check out Trade Alerts Pro for all daily and weekly stock alerts. That's the first link in the description box. Thank you as always for watching the video, and have a great day.